Rapid change in the world can make anyone feel a little anxious at times, or even very anxious. How do we deal with uncertainty without letting our anxiety spin out of control? Kendra Greene is a visiting professor of English at the University of Missouri and author of No Less Strange and Wonderful: Essays in Curiosity. Greene maintains an even keel by staying engaged and curious about the world around her. She makes a conscious decision to notice the small things that don't usually grab our attention.
I think it denies a certain part of our humanity, right? We were built as pattern-seeking and novelty-seeking creatures. It's part of how we survive. There's a reason why it releases dopamine and other chemicals that incite us to do it more often. The thrill-seeking we see is part of that. But definitely the more we know about the world, the better able we are to survive it. That's why we have the whole technology of stories to begin with, a way of carrying forward the stuff that's going to matter. Paying attention to things that aren't normally taken seriously, not normally paid attention to or looked at for very long, it's actually really easy to do. There's such a easy barrier to get over, right? It takes so little time to pay more attention to a thing than it normally gets, and the rewards of it are huge.
For instance, while Greene was a curator at the Museum of Contemporary Photography in Chicago, she took pleasure in helping others dig deeper than what was just visible at surface level. In this case, it involved examining a seemingly boring photo.
If you've never seen an actual Roy de Carava print, and you probably haven't, right, this narrow band of tonal scale, all in these dark, dark colors, a neighbor watching television through a window at night, a table setting at a diner. We couldn't reproduce them technologically any other way for a long time. So people just didn't know you had to come see the original if you were going to understand the depth and the texture and the beauty of them. And so I would know I could pull this out. I would know I could pull out maybe some Gary Winogrand street photography, pull out things that would make a student say, it's not that interesting. And I could say, I know, let me catch you up on the history. This is the person that did the thing that became so influential that you take it as a given now. The reason you can think this isn't interesting is this same thing.
Last month, she shared a moment of wonder with her mother as they observed the total lunar eclipse from their respective time zones.
And I told her I'd read about NASA describing it as the color, that reddish, warm, sort of roiling color, that it is a matter of wavelengths and a bunch of things. But part of the reflection and the bounce that you're seeing is all of the sunrises and sunsets from the edge of the world. That corona that surrounds us being reflected in a place where we can see it. And she said something to me like, that is the sort of information that makes me want to never die.
It's that sense of natural awe and wonder that Greene says can lift us out of all overwhelming anxious thoughts.
There are facts and ideas and stories that will positively change our lives, right? They will just cause us to reconsider what is possible and flip us upside down, never to be the same, right? Expanded, illuminated in some way. And I think the best we can do is to seek them out and to share as many of them as we possibly can.
Sharing is the key word here. As an essayist, that's what Greene does. She shares her thoughts and ideas with others. What inspired her to do so was receiving letters from family and friends when she was a teen and writing back to them. She's attempting to bring back this lost art form through her students.
I've been thinking about, I suppose, my origin story, right? How I became a writer. And I wasn't one of those kids that was writing plays that everybody had to be recruited to act in. I wasn't making poetry. I wasn't writing songs. I just wasn't that sort of young person. I didn't find the essay until I was in my 20s. But a thing I've always known is that I love the mail. Right? The post, the letter, the postcard, all of it, right? Materially, tactilely, the great different stamps you didn't know existed until there was one on a letter to you. And I became an essayist because I was writing letters home, that I was trying to explain where I was and what I was encountering. I think one of the best things you can do is write a letter for any number of reasons. Think about who needs to hear from you. Think about who you need to talk to. Think about who you want to invite to witness with you.
Greene set up a free letterbox in the University of Missouri English department where people can donate old stationery they aren't using anymore.
It is incredible to watch how much is coming out of the old stationery drawers. It's like clearing out your closet every so often, right? There are things that just don't fit anymore. They're not right for you. And oh my goodness, watching it all go out again because we just needed the means. We just needed a little reminder for this, I mean, really old technology, this amazing invention. Can you believe the postal system that it can take an idea, it can take a piece of language, it can take news and send it around the world, right? You can write something down, and within a week, someone else you cannot otherwise touch will laugh.
In her eyes, anxiety often arises when we're faced with the unknown. She suggests putting this stream of thoughts and worries down on paper.
There are a variety of writers who have a phrase to the effect of, I write to know what I'm thinking. Definitively embodying an idea, right? Giving it words, setting it down. It clarifies, it provides structure, it gives narrative, it makes meaning that wasn't there before. There are things that you can only think on the page. They don't actually exist until you have to channel what you're perceiving, what you're grappling with into an isolated form that can be shared with someone else. So I think the writing is an incredible tool, both for observation and analysis and even documentation, never mind this dissemination of getting witnesses, of bringing someone along with you for thinking things through together.
The next time you're feeling anxious about breaking stories you hear on the news or the uncertainty of your current situation, maybe go for a walk. Look up at the sky or look down at the ground and notice all the plants or insects. Be curious about them or about the people you see or snippets of conversations you hear. Go home and write about them in a letter to a friend or family member you haven't written to in ages.
We need to seek and we need to share. These two things sit side by side. And I think they're the two deep ways that we know what matters, right? We find it and then we share it.
A. Kendra Greene's book, No Less Strange and Wonderful, Essays in Curiosity, is available now online and in select bookstores. To find out more about our guests this week, visit viewpointsradio.org. For more behind the scenes, search Viewpoints Radio on Instagram, X, and Facebook. This segment was written and produced by Polly Hansen. Our executive producer is Amira Zaveri. Our studio manager is Jason Dickey. I'm Marty Peterson.